Leigh Scheidel. You can find me at www.leighscheidel.com. And I have a video presentation for you, a how-to training on Instagram for beginners. And I'd like to get you started here by switching so that you can see my screen. This training is for an Android telephone. And so I'm just going to switch screens here. And we'll make some things smaller that we don't need. And here we have our telephone screen. And I'm just going to, oops, wrong. Put Instagram on. So we've started Instagram on our phone. So here's our screen. And here you have your image. This is how you are being displayed with your image on Instagram. And it's suggested and recommended that this picture be very clear. And it's also recommended that you use the same image across all the different social media platforms. And that's so that you're easy recognizable. And also your account name should be your name, and it should be the same across all of your social media platforms as well. I was going to just take a quick look at your profile itself, and you can get to that by going to the little head and shoulders icon that's at the bottom right of your screen right here, and we're just going to click on that, and that's going to take us to an image of your screen showing you your posts, your followers, those that you're following, a button where you can edit your profile, your name as listed on the account, and then the following information is the bio itself, and below that would be your clickable link. Your clickable link could be for your business opportunity. It could be to a ClickFunnels where somebody inputs their name and email address information. A lot of people like this with a lot of emoticons and really, really short bits of information that tell people what you do. Personally, for me, I prefer a short paragraph that tells you what I'm here to do, what I'm about. But you set that up according to what you, I go with what fits my personality rather than what they say is the hottest item. But everybody does like the emoticons, and they typically won't read long paragraphs or anything. So you keep it brief. You don't have a lot of characters here anyhow. If you want a lot of returns, a lot of emoticons, and more lines, you'll notice on your phone when you're looking at your screen for typing that you won't have a return key on that screen. And the problem with that then is that you couldn't make several lines here and add emoticons on there. You're trapped in a strict text format where you just have to keep filling the text box until it's full. But you can go outside of this program, Instagram, use, say, a notepad that's on your phone, create the file that you want the way you want it, space the way you want it, with the returns that you want, copy that text, and then come here into this bio section, click in that first portion, and then paste that information that you've typed on that notepad. That'll give you the display that you would like there. Okay, that's really all I wanted to cover on the profile itself. When you were setting it up, I hope you chose public, because if you chose to set your account to private, it's akin to being closed for business. So when people look at it, and if they choose to try to follow you, what happens is they get a button that comes back and says requested. So then you have to look at it and approve them before they will see your posts. And most people really don't like that very much, and they are not willing to wait. And so if they see that it's a request rather than being followed, or that they're following immediately, a lot of times they'll undo that and just not follow you. They don't want the trouble of it. Be clear about your purpose when you're setting up your profile. Let people know what you're there for, and understand that this clickable link here, this is the only place in Instagram that you get a clickable link. And so if your call to action tells them to click on the link, you might want to remind them that your link is posted on the bio. When you're posting to Instagram, and you can do that with this center button at the bottom, you click on that little plus sign on a background, and that will give you your gallery, and the last photo you have in your phone is what will pop up in that window. And then in the bottom section, you can scroll through there, and as you scroll, you'll see all your different photos. If I were going to post a photo about Molly, I might pick one here. Let's see. Let's pick this one of Molly. And then there's an option here to make it more squared. If it's not a square photo, you could make it more squared. This one's already cut down to a square photo, so I don't need that, so I'll just push it back out on its size. If your photo is like a photo screen shape where it's wider than it is tall, then you'll need to click this button to change it down to a square style shape, because that's all Instagram will view in the space that they offer. And so then there's features below after we click next. So you would select your image, and then you would click up here on next. And then you'll see at the bottom there's something called filters. And these filters are different. It's tweaking the image is all it's doing. It's giving it different colors to the background. It's making it darker, lighter. Sometimes it adds coloring to it, maybe yellow, maybe green, maybe a reddish tint to it. Some of them make it look sharper. Some of them make it totally gray and white. So you can see that there's all different kind of options here that you can choose from as far as what your photo ends up looking like. I'm keeping mine as it is. I'm just going to go up here to the next and click next again. And then it's going to bring up the screen so that you can add a caption. Now, keep captions short. People don't like to read these days, and so really bulletize it and bring it to the point quickly if you're going to put something. A lot of times in mine, I don't follow all the rules because of the nature of what I'm posting in my group, or not group, on Instagram is really about attraction marketing for me, and I really don't get into posting about my business opportunity there. What I'm trying to use Instagram for is to make connections, have short conversations with people, and see if I can attract them to Facebook, which is where I really prefer to do my marketing. So the strategy for me is just to kind of get leads from Instagram. And so I don't follow all of the rules that are recommended. One of them being to always have a call to action. And a lot of times what that might be on your post is to say, click the link in my bio, reminding them that the only clickable link you have in Instagram is in your bio. There are other things you could say, obviously, and I'll leave that up to your judgment and decision. Direct Messenger is similar to Facebook Messenger in that people can message you to your name specifically. You'll see, if I go back out of the profile itself, let's go ahead out here, and I would say next here. Okay, that's taking us to that. I'm not going to post this one, so I'm just going to go ahead and back out of this altogether. Okay, and so then I was going to show you about direct messaging. And you can see that I have a little number up here on the top right from the Instagram title. There's a red bubble and it has a number in it. That's how many messages I have since I last checked my Instagram. And if I click on that, it'll show you what the messages are. And I have some messages from people, and I like to use this and respond to people that are following me. If they're not following me, I'm not as inclined to reply to their direct message. It's kind of like Facebook. If I'm not friends with them and they try to message me, it's in my filtered messages, which is slightly different than in Instagram. But if they aren't my friend, I typically won't have a conversation with them unless I'm interested in being their friend. So you can choose to ignore direct message, and if I'm not following them and they're not following me, that's often how I handle that. You cannot turn it off. Now, there is a way in your profile settings, and I didn't go through this. At the very bottom, it has a feature called Advanced, and if you click on that, you will have an opportunity to not allow commenting. That is an option you can turn off. I don't have a problem with people being able to put their comments on there. I like kind of reading through them, and for me, it's more of a fun thing. But you can turn them off. You cannot turn off direct messaging. All you can do is ignore it. When you're setting up Instagram, be sure you're clear about what your purpose is. If this is a private account, let people know. Let your friends know that it's for fun and that's what you're doing. If it's a business account, be clear about that. Be sure you have a clickable link to your business opportunity or to your products and services. And, if you're using it for business, be professional about it and go about it as though it were part of your normal business schedule. One of the things that's really important in Instagram is to be consistent. It doesn't matter if you post once a day or if you're posting 10 times a day. What happens typically with followers is whatever time of day they happen to look at your account is the time of day they will typically return every day. And so if you post at noon and they know you post at noon, a lot of times they'll come at or shortly after noon to see what's up if they're following you. So be consistent. It's really important. It's not so much about a quantity that you post. Use quality. When you're doing your images, it's really, really important that you brand you, not the company you represent. Everybody works for that same company. So you might have 100 reps all in that business, and I know oftentimes it's way more than that. This is just the example I'm throwing out. The point being, they all work for XYZ company. And if you're just another Jane Doe or Joe Smith in the list of representatives for XYZ company, then you're not really standing out. And so the purpose of branding you is so that you stand out from the rest of the people at XYZ company. You can do that with a number of ways, and I have material that covers that under a different video. When you do branding for these images, you want at minimum to put a label, your mark, so to speak, on your images. Some people actually watermark them. You can put a lighter version of your text in the background, something that identifies it to you, something that people come to recognize on a regular basis. That could be a logo type of image, it could be a website address, it could be your business name, which I hope is separate from your company's or your organization that you work for or with. If you borrow work, and we all do, we all share, that's what social media is about in a lot of instances, be sure to give credit. It's kind of the same thing as if you're using material and you're writing from material that you've read about by someone else. The proper thing and etiquette is to give credit so that you're not plagiarizing work. You're not stating that it's your work when it's really not. Be sure to do that for other people. They'll appreciate you more. Oftentimes you'll find those people will retweet your work as well. So you're doing yourself really a service if you give credit to other people. One of the programs that I like to use covers information for your hashtags. In Instagram, you get hashtags. You're allowed up to 30 per post. Some people put it as the information, your content, and some people add it as the first comment under that post. For time's sake, and because a lot of times I'm using an instant posting type program, I don't put my hashtags in the comment section. I put mine right on the space where you say what it is you're wanting to say to people. And so really, I don't even add that call to action there. I just post all of my hashtags. Hashtags, the reason I call them are like advertising is because there's really only two areas in Instagram that you can use that are searchable. One is from your account name. Your account name is searchable, and that's part of why you want the same name utilized across all social media platforms. The other that is searchable is from your hashtags. In utilizing hashtags, a lot of times if you have a primary item for a hashtag, let me go over here and open this Hashtagify, which is something that I like to use. And let me get a window open here for us. Oh, I always say hashtagify.com. It's not. Hashtagify.me, M-E. And what I like about this one is you'll see this search window to the right, the far right over here, and I'm going to click in that. And most of us are in network marketing, and so I'm just going to put in network marketing with my hashtag, of course, and then enter it. And what you're going to see is that this screen is going to pull up our search word and put it in the center of this hub. And when it does that, it's going to give us 10 related hashtags to what we put in the center hub. So as you can see, we have network marketing in the center, and the 10 related hashtags are given to us in bubbles all the way around the center hub. This is helpful when you're deciding what hashtags to use, because the other thing about these 10, they're the top 10 related to your center hub item. So you might want all or a portion of these other top hashtags as part of the 30 that you're allowed. And so we'll go back to the top, and I'll just throw another one in here for you. I also am part of quite a few affiliate marketing programs. And so I'll put in affiliate marketing as the hub. And you can see these are the top 10 hashtags that it brings up. What it means is that these are the top 10 that other people are using that also use affiliate marketing. And so by doing this, you can fine tune and get to the target market audience that you're after. It's really important to know who your target market is. Who is that audience? Who are you trying to reach? And what kinds of things do they like? Because those are the types of quotes, they're the types of images, those are the types of information that your audience is looking for. You want to use as much of that to your advantage, because this is going to help attract people to you, because you're covering the things maybe that are problems for them, or it's their interest, their drive, what they have purpose for in their life. And you want to know what those things are, because obviously that's going to attract them to you. Oh, make sure also that you research your hashtags and that you know them. You don't want to put a random one up, and the reason for that is that you might be putting a hashtag that attracts an audience that you don't want. So be sure to take a look and see what the top 10 hashtags are that other people are using with that one, to make sure that it's flowing with the kinds of people that you want to attract to you. I hope that you found this helpful, and if you have, I hope that you'll share it and tell other people about it. Hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for your time.